Kakarot and Vegeta have formed an alliance against Frieza, with the two of them training together, getting stronger, and now they're ready to face off against Frieza. And not only that, Cooler is after Frieza as well, as he's ready to finish this once and for all with his brother. So what do you think's gonna happen? Find out in this part 4 of What If Cooler Raised Kakarot. Frieza is ready to fight these two Saiyans, as he shows the full power of his first form. Frieza then launches in as the fight begins. But before we get into the fight, let's go over some power levels. Kakarot is the strongest, at 6 million. After doing intense training and getting a Zenkai from when Ginyu stole his body, his power has skyrocketed. And as for Vegeta, he's behind Kakarot at a power level of 3 million. He was originally stronger than Kakarot, but when Kakarot was fully healed, his power surpassed his. So now he's behind Kakarot. And much to his surprise, he can't do anything against these Saiyans. Hell, he can't even keep up with one of them. The two of them are stronger than his first form individually, but they're working together so they aren't using their full power. Frieza then checks his scouter to see their power levels, and they see that it's a little bit above his first form, and Frieza thinks that's good. They are a lot stronger than he thought, but he'll just need his second form and he'll outmatch them. But what Frieza doesn't realize is that they're not at full power right now, as they are trying to conserve energy, and what they're using now is not even a fraction of their true strength. And thanks to Kakarot, him and Vegeta know that Frieza can transform. So once Frieza transforms into a second form, they show off more power as well. And Frieza in his second form is still not too big of a deal for them. And Frieza's absolutely confused, as he didn't know that the Saiyans would actually be this strong, as Vegeta definitely wasn't that strong the last time they met. But as for that other Saiyan, well, he knew he was strong. He was able to destroy many of his bases and even defeat the Ginyu Force. He didn't know that the two of them would be strong enough to contend with his second form. Seeing this, he decides to not hold back anymore, as he comes to realize that he shouldn't underestimate these two Saiyans, as Frieza decides to skip his third form and go straight into his final form. He would have loved to go straight into full power of this form, but he didn't have the time to. But he thinks that this should be plenty enough to handle them, and Frieza congratulates these two for making him go this far. They should be grateful that they are able to see this form, but this form is going to be the last thing that these two will ever see. The battle then shifts into Frieza's favor. By the time he shows 50%, of course that's going to give Kakarot and Vegeta trouble. But they do actually have a trump card, as both Kakarot and Vegeta then dash away from the fight, flying to the opposite side of the planet. Frieza then laughs at this, as he starts chasing them down. He's wondering why they're running away. Is seeing his final form making them realize that they made a mistake? But they're not retreating, as the two of them are going somewhere, as they eventually arrive on the other side of the planet. There was a reason why they were here. This was pretty much a precaution, just in case if they weren't strong enough to face off against Frieza. This planet has a moon, and it gives off enough blood sway for Kakarot to transform, and the moon is in full view for him, as he looks up at it. And by the time Frieza arrives, it's too late, as Frieza sees a grade 8 fall from the sky. To be fair, they could have used artificial moons, but they didn't want to use it as it would have taken up energy to make one. The boost in power does help him out, but it's not as much power as he needs, but this only makes Frieza summon even more of his power. In fact, he uses all of it, as he uses his full power. So Frieza still has the upper hand in this battle, and Frieza actually kinda likes this. These Saiyans have grown to be so powerful, but they still couldn't match up to his power, as it seems that no matter what they do, they still can't match up to him, as Frieza then starts getting bored of fighting them. Frieza then looks up and sees the moon above him, as he points a finger at it, launching a death beam straight through the moon, destroying it. There, now you can see the fear in their faces as he's killing them. Kakarot then de-transforms, going back into his base. Frieza admits to them, it was pretty fun fighting them, but he's done here, as he's seen plenty enough and he's done wasting his time. Especially now since that he destroyed the moon. They really don't stand a chance now, as Kakarot transforming to a grade 8 was their last card on the table. Frieza tells him that they should have never challenged him, as he is the Emperor of the Universe, the strongest there is, as there's no way that two measly little monkeys could ever defeat him. Kakarot and Vegeta then try to rush him again, but Frieza easily dodged each and every one of their attacks. And Frieza laughs at this, seeing them being desperate, trying to struggle to face up against him. But Frieza decides enough is enough, as he backhands Vegeta away, and he uses his tail to knock Kakarot into another direction. He then points at the finger at the biggest threat, Kakarot, as he charges up a death beam, firing it. But Kakarot is able to jump out of the way in the nick of time. Kakarot sees that Frieza is just too strong. All that hard work he did in his entire life, it was all for nothing. Cooler wanted him to become strong so he could defeat Frieza, and he did. But Frieza, he's still stronger. Was he just not meant to become the strongest? Vegeta then sees Kakarot just standing there, frozen, and Frieza launches another death beam at him, but Vegeta tackles Kakarot out of the way. Vegeta then tells Kakarot what the hell does he think he's doing? Get his head back in the fight. He wants to become the strongest, right? Surpassing Frieza, surpassing Cooler? How is he gonna do that if he dies here? From the way he sees it, the fight isn't over till they draw their last breath. Vegeta knows that they can defeat Frieza. He doesn't know how, but they will. But if Kakarot's gonna take the coward's way out and let Frieza kill him, well, it just means that he was never meant to become the strongest. Kakarot then gets back up, and even though the odds are against him and Vegeta, he won't falter here. And Kakarot starts feeling an immense rage, not only at Frieza for embarrassing him like that, but he also has anger towards himself for allowing himself to be beaten. But right now, he doesn't care about anything. The only thing he wants to do right now is win this fight, as a golden glow then starts to surround Kakarot. With a mixture of intense rage and frustration with this battle, Kakarot's power then starts to rise, and Frieza is surprised that this Saiyan actually had more power within him, as he then fires more death beams at him, and they all land on Kakarot, but they don't do anything, and Frieza can't believe it. That did nothing? That should have killed him. Whoever this power is greater than his Grade 8 transformation, which makes Frieza then realize what this is, and Vegeta realizes it too. Kakarot then tells Frieza, no matter what happens here, he's gonna win, because now he created his worst nightmare. As Frieza can now clearly see that the Saiyan has transformed. His hair, it's golden, and his eyes, they're a different color. This makes Frieza tremble, as Kakarot has transformed into a Super Saiyan. And even though Kakarot is a Super Saiyan, he doesn't really have much stamina. But the only thing that's really fueling him right now, it's a desire to win. Kakarot then charges at Frieza, hitting him with a rapid flurry of attacks, with Frieza then being launched into the air, as Kakarot is then charging an attack. As it looks like a ball of energy, Frieza sees this and he recognizes this. It's the same attack that his father did against him all those years ago. Frieza is distressed as he can't lose here, as he starts charging up a death ball, getting ready to destroy the planet that they're on. He'll send this monkey to hell along with this planet, as he then tosses it at Kakarot. Kakarot then tosses his attack, but it completely swallows up Frieza's death ball. The blue blast then darts across the sky, and it hits Frieza, finally defeating the Emperor. And Kakarot's glad to see that he finally won, as due to the lack of energy, he falls out as Super Saiyan. Kakarot then turns to Vegeta, as he's completely stunned after seeing what happened, as he didn't think that Kakarot would actually transform into a Super Saiyan. But after all that happened, it would make sense why he's the Super Saiyan. But now knowing that it's a transformation and not just a state of being, Vegeta is also going to try to work on becoming a Super Saiyan, and he'll be on top again. Kakarot then laughs at this as he can't wait, because knowing once Vegeta gets Super Saiyan, they're going to have a fun battle. Vegeta then asks Kakarot a question. Now that Frieza's gone, what is he going to do? Is Kakarot going to go run back over the cooler? And Kakarot does admit he really don't want to go back, because once he knows that Frieza's been defeated, Cooler's possibly going to go after him next. But he still wants to work together with Vegeta. With the two of them training together, they did get super strong. And now that they know about Super Saiyan, they can grow to even further heights. But then Kakarot and Vegeta suddenly hear a voice, as he says sorry, one Super Saiyan is already too much, and he doesn't need another. As a death beam goes right through Vegeta's chest, and Kakarot can't believe it. As he turns around, he sees Cooler, and Kakarot's surprised to see him there. And Kakarot is wondering, what's Cooler doing here? And he explains, he originally came here to kill Frieza since he thought Kakarot was dead. He saw Kakarot and that other Saiyan fight Frieza, and even Kakarot transforming into a Super Saiyan, and he even got to see the beautiful sight of Frieza dying. So now that Frieza's gone, he's gonna take his place as Emperor in the universe. And the first thing that he's gonna do now that he's Emperor is do what his brother couldn't, get rid of all the Saiyans. And look, he's already started, as he's already killed Vegeta. And now it's Kakarot's turn, as he's currently the last remaining Saiyan. Vegeta was right, he never really did care about him. He was only using him as a puppet for his own goals. Cooler did think at first that he was going to spare Kakarot, as he didn't need the looming threat of a Super Saiyan within his ranks. In fact, he tells Kakarot he was supposed to go to some planet called Earth, but instead he took his pod, and he was planning on killing him as a baby. But he decided that he would get more gain if he used Kakarot. And it worked, he got it what he wanted, and now he has no use for Kakarot. And Kakarot is angry by this. The man he used to look up to, the one who raised him, only to use him as a pawn in his scheme. And he knew he was just as bad as Frieza. And hearing those details make him realize that he's not as bad as Frieza, he's worse. Kakarot wants to fight him and kill him so bad, but he doesn't have the energy to do it, and he can't access Super Saiyan. And now that Vegeta's gone, it's only him. Kakarot tries to think of a way to get out of this, and he comes up with an idea. He doesn't have much energy left, but he uses it to blast the ground, creating a huge smoke screen. And whatever strength he has left, he uses it to run away towards the ship. He doesn't have the strength right now to fight Cooler, but trust him, he will return one day. And in his mind, he apologizes to Vegeta, as he shouldn't have died like that, and he is gonna avenge him, as Kakarot does eventually make it to the ship and blasting off going out into space. And Cooler sees the ship leaving, and he points a finger at it, But for some reason, he doesn't destroy it, as he lets Kakarot go. But Cooler knows that Kakarot will be back one day, and when that time comes, he won't let him get away again, as this is where we'll leave this part off. What did you guys think of this video, and do you want to see more? If you do, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It supports me and it supports the channel, showing me that you want to see more What Is. Anyways, I'm DBZ Anarchy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.